Phil Spencer, Le Cuisinier de Ménage, the household chef. And today we're making a basic chicken stock. Now I've done a previous video where I did a brown chicken stock, and the difference being is that we roasted the bones and the mirepoix to make the brown chicken stock. Today it's much simpler. Everything done in one pot. We put all the chicken bones into a pot, add some fresh water, bring it up from cold to a simmer. After an hour, we're going to add the mirepoix, which is the carrots, onion, and celery, and then the aromatics. Let that go for about another hour and a half, and then we're all done. Strain it and done. A much simpler process and usable for everything. Great to cook rice in, use with vegetables. Chicken stock is something you always want to have on hand. So let me show you how to do it. So here I'm adding the bones to the pan, and then I'm going to cover it with filtered water. Here my plan is to have about 2 quarts of chicken stock because I don't have that many bones, so I'll use about 3 quarts of filtered water. Cover the bones. That leaves enough space to add the mirepoix and the vegetables that I'll add in a little bit. So now I'm going to turn this on to a high heat and bring it to a simmer just as quickly as I can. So I covered these bones with just some water, and I'm bringing it up to a simmer. Now we don't want to bring this to a boil because that'll emulsify all that fat and make the stock very cloudy. So we want to keep this stock nice and clear. So we're just going to bring it to a simmer, so I'm watching it carefully. And so now it's time to turn down the heat and just let it simmer. And you can see those impurities that are coming to the top. We're going to need to skim those off. Now it's time to skim the stock, and you can use a strainer like I have, or a spoon works just as well. And you're going to want to do this about every 15 minutes or so, and definitely right before you add the mirepoix. So that's what we're looking for the simmer, and I'll be skimming it a few more times, and we're going to do this for 1 hour, and then we're going to go ahead and add all the vegetables. And you can see I have a good skim there, and you can see the fat building up. And I am going to actually use a spoon and take out as much of that as I can as well. And just a little bit, I'm going to let it build up just a little bit more. All right, so now it's been an hour. I'm going to go ahead and put in the vegetables, the mirepoix, which is it's carrots, celery, and onions. And I go ahead and leave the skin on because that'll impart some color to the stock, make it look nice. And I'm also going to go ahead and add my aromatics, which is some thyme, black pepper, corns, 2 bay leaves, and some parsley stems. And also, I add garlic, just 3 little cloves. So I'm going to mix this around and make sure that's all covered, and then bring it back up to a simmer, and we'll do that for an hour. I do leave this uncovered because I like the evaporation. I think it creates a much more intense, flavorful stock by letting some of it evaporate. And I'll still skim this a couple times. There's still little bits in there that need to come off. See? Okay, now it's time to strain the stock. So I'm going to try and pour it into 2. I do a double strain, that way it catches most of the big stuff. There we go. And that's good enough. Now all the vegetables have lost all their flavor and nutrients. Here we have what's left. Beautiful stock.